Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Another Tuesday night live. Thank you all for joining me. If you guys if you're in the chat right now, drop in where you're watching from. It's fun seeing where everyone's coming from. So we've already got some people here, so that's pretty fun. I'm gonna play the little intro video just like always. Tonight's a solo show, so it's all about you guys asking questions. And for those of you that are listening after the fact to the replay or to the podcast or anything like that, thank you for doing that. Join us next Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. But yeah, I'm going to roll the intro, shout out where you're watching from, and put some questions in the chat, and let's get this conversation going. All right. Well, we got Mandy, first comment. What's up? Happy Tuesday evening. Got Plaps33. He's in the house. Caleb Smith is here. 9 p.m. and brewing some coffee. That sounds good. I got a, let's see here. So for a long time, I've always wanted to do be able to brew nice coffee and everything. I don't know, for a long time, I've just been really into coffee. And last year for my birthday, so it's been a little bit over a year actually, I got a coffee grinder, just to do it by hand. Sorry, this music's distracting me. So I've been grinding it by hand for a year, and then doing the pour over with the glass. It looks like a scientist beaker, something like that. But just for my birthday this year, I got an actual electric burr grinder, a nice one. So I ground all my coffee every single day by hand for a year, and then finally got electric one. So that's pretty cool. But I've been loving that. And so, man, every time I think about it, it hasn't been that long that I've had it. So every time I think about coffee, I'm just oh my gosh, I want to go make some. So Caleb, you got me thinking about coffee. Drew Heinland's in the house. Sorry guys, something's going on with my computer. I don't know. Am I accidentally streaming in 4K again? I hope not. Nope, it says 1080. My computer's just a little slow right now with the clicks. Dugos Films is here. Holla holla. Intro gets me pumped up. Nice. That's awesome. Thanks, man. Intro gets me pumped up too. I love it. All right. Hello all from South Texas. Aaron Townsend. Mandy's from Madison, Wisconsin. Caleb's in North Carolina. We got Dugos Films from Canada. Let's see. David Sachs is from newish subscribers here. Really like your content. Watching from upstate New York. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, we got a bunch of new subscribers over the last, I would say maybe month and a half, 2 months. A lot of new people on the channel, so that's been really awesome. Really fun getting to meet a lot of new people just in the comments and in these live streams. So Hong Kong, David C. I don't know if you were here last week, but I think Hong Kong was you won for farthest away, and you're probably gonna win again this year. I mean, this week, this year. Yeah, that would be something if I only live streamed once a year. Man. Dan Nelson's here from Omaha, New England, Nebraska. Sorry. It's live. Douglas Hall, Olympia, Washington. Awesome. Jerry Daniels, Aurora, Colorado. Dan Darling, happy Tuesday. A long time since I've been able to drop in and hang out. Saw your FTP heart rate video while I worked. Inspired me to go out and do the same today. Nice. Now I just need to interpret my own data. That's awesome. I've actually seen a couple comments about people who, after watching that video, they went out and recreated it themselves too, to like get this season started with their training zones and everything. So I think that's so fun. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight. So if you guys have more questions about that, I've been getting like a ton of questions on that video. And I don't know if it wasn't meant to like spark controversy, but there's a lot of people that have very different opinions on how to like set your zones and training and all that. But that's just so to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, doing like a lactate threshold test, which is what that is, to set your heart rate zones, is just something that I've been doing for years. Learned it a long time ago, like when I was training for triathlons, and then when I became a coach, like it's been like almost 5 years now. That was just kind of like the standard, what we all did. I kind of got involved in coaching because there was a local triathlon store here in town, and became friends with the owner, and he was a coach. And so he kind of helped me like find my way and get training, get certified, get my license and all that, or my certification and all that. But yeah, it's like, if you do the test right, and it's really hard, a lot of people don't do it right. A lot of people it's 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute time trial. That's a long time to be pacing yourself and running hard. It's a long time to have your heart rate up that high. Like, it hurts, like your legs. There was a point with like 10 minutes left in the test where my legs, they just felt like they were going to buckle for like half a lap. And I was just like, I got to keep going. And if I fall, I fall. But I don't know exactly what that was about. Maybe something about like low oxygen, blood flow, something like that. But my legs were just like feeling like they were just shot with about 10 minutes to go. But it's amazing like how you can just keep digging and keep finding a way to continue. So, but yeah, there's a lot of different tests out there. A lot of people asking about max heart rate and like why I didn't do a max heart rate test. And honestly, I've never really been a fan of it because it's really hard. It's really hard to find. Sorry, guys. Training for Ultra mentioned you in their story. Awesome. Maybe he's watching. Maybe you're watching, Rob. I just called you out there. Sorry. But yeah, a lot of people do like a max heart rate. They think that finding your max heart rate is really, really important. And I've never like been in that camp that thought that was terribly important, because number one, it's really hard to find your max heart rate. Like you can run up like 50 flights of stairs and try to do it, or you can like run up a mountain or something like that, or sprint as hard as you can until you collapse, basically. But even if you do that, like the chance of like actually hitting your max heart rate, like there's still room for error. There's still a lot of days where on a certain day, like maybe you had too much caffeine that morning. Maybe you didn't have enough to eat. Like there's just like, maybe you didn't have enough sleep. Like there's just a lot of reasons where that can be off by a couple beats. And same thing with any of these tests. Like they can all, there's room for error in all of them. But this 30 minutes, like if you do it right, and when you're done, you know that you know if you did it right or not, just by looking at the data. Like the data is just really, it's just solid data, because it's, 30 minutes is a long time, and you're taking the average of the last 20, and you can tell like if you're, if you lost steam or if you were able to hold it the whole time. So it's just a really good test. But yeah, it's really hard. So I do it like usually once at the beginning of the season. And then if I'm feeling like sometimes I'll do it like in the middle of the season as well, but once or twice a year, maybe, but not not much more than that. Labe, what's up? Oh, so Labe just did a self-supported 50 miler on Saturday out at Jackson County. There was supposed to be a race last weekend, and I was thinking about doing like the 50K. I know I talked about that several times on this show. I've done the 50 miler down there 3 times, and it's one of my favorite races just because it's just so hard. And I mean, it's a 10-mile loop, and over the 50 miles, you get somewhere around 9,000 feet of gain. So, that's not like out of this world, but for Midwest Indiana, like that's pretty solid. So, I mean, Western States is 18,000 feet of gain, 20 something of descent. So you're getting the same mile per mile gain as at Western States over the course of 50 miles. But yeah, that's a really good course. And it's just a tough course because it's just straight up and straight down. So congrats, Labe, for going out there and doing it yourself. That's pretty impressive. I saw your time. Like, that was good too. Dan Darling's here, watching from your neighbor, Illinois. Corrected to Illinois. Yeah. Marisol, hey Ryan, how's it going? Logan Zoltan is here. Live for the first time in Virginia. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen your name, Logan. Thanks for joining. Kwoo from Texas, howdy. Perry Brown from Alabama. Stephen Becker from Richmond, Indiana. Dan Darling says, I could have picked a better day, 26 and windy here and dark. I was on Bambi legs after I finished. Yeah, it's getting cold. Like, that's something that, that's something that I wanted to ask you guys is like, how do you can put your answers in the comments. Like, what do you do? How do you layer up? Like, how many layers are you wearing? Like, what have you guys found any, like pants or jackets or gloves or hats or anything like that are really good? Because, I'm always looking for, like, I don't buy running clothes very much. In fact, I mean, I guess, like, I don't think I've bought much running stuff in probably a couple years, because if you get good quality stuff, it lasts a long time. A lot of my clothes are made by Solomon, and so those just last forever. I like the Solomon tights and the jackets and shirts and all that. And then I have some Ultra shirts and shorts and stuff like that. I don't know what else I have, but pretty much like during the winter, like I just kind of feel like I'm just wearing so much. And I mean, like just probably like tights, a base layer, like a tight shirt, another shirt, and then a jacket, some gloves. But I just feel like I'm always wearing like the same thing. And it's just like, it takes so long to get ready and so long after your run. Winter's just tough mentally. But yeah, if you guys see any good deals on like running gear or anything like that, let me know in the comments, and let me know how you guys handle running in the cold. I mean, it's not that bad. Like after the first couple miles, or not first couple miles, first couple minutes, it's really not that bad. Especially if it's not windy, it's not bad either. Like if the wind is less than 5 miles an hour, like I can go out and, 25 degrees, 20 degrees and feel fine after a few minutes. But if there's wind, it can be pretty miserable going in certain directions. Let's see. Chip G has a question. Do you see any big advantages between doing a MAF or using zone 2 and below low heart rate in your training? Good question. So if you didn't catch my video from a couple days ago, MAF stands for maximum aerobic functioning threshold. Basically, it's just MAF, developed by a guy named Phil Maftone. And what he found was that on average, you can take 180 minus your age and find your MAF heart rate. And then there's a range, like if you're over 65 or under 16, you need to do certain things to it. And then if you're coming off an injury, you need to drop that heart rate a little bit, the target rate. If you are experiencing illness or just, there's a few different things. And I linked his website on that last video a couple days ago that I did. Once you find that, you get a range of like 10 beats per minute or so, 10 to 15 beats per minute, that's kind of like your, it's very, very similar to like a zone 2. So that'd be kind of like your go all day, effort level. And that's just kind of what you train at for most of your runs. It can be all of them. It can be some of them. You can do a mixture of MAF and something else. But for the most part, the point of MAF is to stay healthy, injury-free, and it's to improve your efficiency. Because a lot of times what happens is somebody has been training, like a lot of the athletes that have come to me that have started coaching, they have had no formal training. They were never on a track team. They were never on a cross-country team. They started running maybe late when they were in college or later in their 30s or 40s. And they have kind of like no knowledge of how to run, what to do. And so this is a great place to start for someone like that because it's super simple. And it's also frustrating because you can't run fast if you're not an efficient runner. You can't run fast at MAF. You have to slow down. You have to become more efficient with your every single step, your stride, how your foot lands, how your leg kicks. Like you have to become more efficient. How you stand, leaning forward, what you do with your arms, and you naturally will learn how to do that. It would help if you had someone to run with and help you, give you feedback, or it would help if you could set your phone up like on a bench or something and run by something like that and watch, do like a little analysis of yourself, set it up on the sidewalk and then just run towards it, run away from it, run by it. And that'll really help you pick out like where your inefficiencies are. But when I started training, by MAF, I actually did this. So I'm not just like repeating stuff I read in a book or on the internet. I actually did this for probably like 6 to 9 months, maybe like 5 years ago. I was an inefficient runner. And the way I knew this was that I could run fine. Like I could run, like decent. I was doing triathlons and I was doing fine. But I was inefficient because my heart rate was always like really high when I was running. And so when I started training by MAF, I had to really slow down, and I had to go from running like, 8-minute miles in my training runs, which really had no idea what I was doing. So I was just going out and running, sometimes I would run hard, sometimes I would run easy. But running from like typically like an 8-minute pace or something. And I remember like the first like 2 or 3 weeks, I was having to slow down to like 12-minute pace, almost 13-minute pace sometimes. And I remember I started doing this, when I was I was signed up to, go to the gym at Purdue, and they have an indoor track there. And I remember I was just like, I was just like running like 13-minute miles on this track, and there's people just like flying by me. And I'm like, why am I doing this? But I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I went through it, because it taught me how to run more efficiently. Like I had to figure out how to make my body flow easier and move easier in order to run a little bit faster, and your body naturally, well, I think most people's bodies will naturally do this because, running is a pretty natural thing for a human to do. And so your body is going to start figuring it out as you go. It doesn't want to work super hard. Like it wants to take the path of least resistance. And so if you can become more efficient, if you can become smoother, you will. So a lot of people, they need to take that 6 months, slow down, learn how to run efficiently. There's a lot, I'm not going to get into like heel striking versus like midfoot, forefoot and all that, but that would also be a good time that if you wanted to adjust that, start training by MAF, and then also start working on your foot strike. I went from chronic heel striker to midfoot, and that was hard too. My Achilles and everything, like my calves, like they hurt for a while too, but I was doing it all at the same time, and I became a completely different runner in just a couple months. So yeah, I think if you want to learn how to run ultras, take a look at how efficient you are, and maybe try MAF for a little bit. It's super simple. So what can you lose? Plas 33 says, I can never find the Goldilocks zone in the cold, either too hot or too cold. I don't know if I've ever heard of that. Is that zone 2? I don't know. Oh, I think I missed a bunch of comments. It scrolled on me. Okay, let's see here. Dugos Film says, what was the pace for your last 20 minutes of your trial? Your first 10 minutes was really easy, right? No, actually. So I did a 20-minute warm-up and then a 10-minute lap and a 20-minute lap. And those 30 minutes there, the 10 and the 20, it's your all-out, like you're running hard, like you're in a race. So the first 10 minutes, I think I actually averaged 7 minutes and 1 second per mile. Let me see here. I can actually pull it up. If I can. So I have this screen over here, but it's also like kind of behind the camera. Let's see if this works. Cool. Okay. So this was my test here. There's the track. And then, so this was that first 10 minutes, like right there. And you see, this is me warming up. Like, this is me just like messing around, stretching, walking. I think I went to the bathroom in the high school, like somewhere around in here. Yeah. And then this is that first 10 minutes. And so you can see here that it took a while for my heart rate to like catch up. It took about 5 to 7 minutes for my heart rate to actually reach that like 178, 177, where I sat for most of the test. And this is why you do a 10-minute first lap, because we're looking for this lactate threshold heart rate average that's in lap 3. So if we go here and we focus on, oh my gosh, why is it doing this? Let's try and reset this. So anyway, we're looking for the average of that 20 minutes in that lap over there, which is, there we go. We're looking for this right here. This is your lactate threshold heart rate, and this is kind of like, as you can see, like I started this at like 175, 178, and then I was hitting like in the 181s, 180, something like that. And the power was kind of fluctuating a little bit, 320, up to like 350, something like that. But that's why you do that first 10 minutes, and then the 20 minutes is where you actually take the data from, because all of this first 10 minutes is everything starting to level out. And this is where like the serious work really happens. And that's just how the test works. So what was your question? My pace for, sorry guys, I just can't see this. It's behind the camera. My pace for the lap 3 was 6:53, and for the one right before it was 7:01. So that was my pace for that test. If you guys have any other questions about that test, definitely ask them, because it's a good one. Caleb Smith says, whoops. Caleb Smith says, it's tough. I'm trying to find a new winter jacket this year. When I was in St. Louis, Missouri, I just wear tights, a winter Dry Max sock hat, and Patagonia base layer, and this Bike Waffle winter pole. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I definitely, like, when it's windy, I need some sort of jacket shell. I can't, I just need something to block the wind. So I'm with you on that. The jacket I have that is my favorite jacket, it's like that navy blue one that I wear all the time. But that was actually part of like the Ultra Red Team package in 2017. And I need to ask some people like where to get another one of those jackets, because that is the best jacket I have. And I don't even know the brand name. Like all the writing on the inside is worn off. So I don't even know where I could find like just a regular one. Maybe there's some people here that were on the Red Team in 2017. There's a rep that sometimes shows up. Anyway, if it gets too cold, throw on an extra top. I love the cold though. Yeah. I it's so weird. Like, the cold weather is, it's such a mind game, because once you're out in it, it's really not that bad. Like once you're warmed up, meaning after the first, like, it usually takes me like maybe 10 to 12 minutes before I really feel like I'm okay. Like I'm at my, running internal temperature. But for those first like 10 to 12 minutes, like it can be kind of miserable. First couple, maybe. Brian R is here from Manhattan. Brian Steinberg runs too much. What's up, Brian? Brian actually, so he also has a YouTube channel that you should check out. But we actually met in person, randomly at the Kettle 100. And he was in my video for just a second. Actually, he gave me some footage for that video. So thank you again, Brian. But what do you think about races deciding to go virtual? That's a tough one. And, like, obviously everybody is, having a hard time here, and race companies, specifically in our universe, our running universe, race companies are being hit really hard. Yeah, I really feel for them. I mean, there was two or three races this past year that I lost money on, and I am fine with it. Like I didn't sweat it, because it can be frustrating if you're in a tough financial situation. I understand that. But, I was, like one race, they asked if we wanted a partial refund or if we just wanted to, be 100% deferred to the next year. And I knew I was going to sign up for that race again. So I just did the partial refund. So in the end, after 2 years, this company actually made more money off of me. And I knew that. And so that's why I made that decision, because I wanted to support this race. Yeah, they're all in a tough spot right now. The virtual races, like I've participated in some of them, and it's fun. Like I think it's a great way to support the race company. I think we all should do our part to, try to make sure that a lot of these races don't disappear, because 2021, like we might not be looking so normal until summer, end of summer. But yeah, I think like a race like No Business, like they figured out how to do it right. They did a fine job. Towards the end, you let your guard down a little bit because you're just so beat up and so tired. But yeah, they did a really good job making sure everyone felt safe for the whole time. And I think there's a lot of races that probably canceled in the spring for, really good reasons, because no one had a clue how to do this safely in the spring and early summer. But then summer, late summer, fall, races start figuring out how to do it. And I think next year, a lot of them can take what we learned from the end of 2020 and apply it. But yeah, I've jumped in a couple of virtual races, and I think it's a good way to support these race companies. It's kind of like, there's a lot of industry. There's a lot of places like that. In the news right now, the big thing is movie theaters, with, I don't know if anybody's seen the news about Warner Brothers deciding to put their whole 2021 slate of movies on HBO Max the same day as theaters, which is really going to disrupt that whole industry. And that's all of next year. So hopefully race companies will be able to bounce back in 2021. But yeah. Peyton Lafayette, I hope I said that right, says, what's your current weekly mileage? Not much right now. So like the last couple of weeks, I haven't been running with any like specific goals. I've just been going out, and whatever, like how I feel on the day, I'll run whatever feels good. If it's 3 miles, great. If it's 6, great. 10, whatever. But yeah, I haven't had any goals over the last couple of weeks. So I've been averaging somewhere between like 20 and 30, which feels really low to me. Could be a lot for some people. But yeah, like once we get more into training, like these first couple of weeks, I'll still probably be hovering around 30 to 40. Because a lot of my work is going to be in like that really high intensity zone. So it's going to be shorter runs. It's not going to be a whole lot of long stuff. Like today is going to be a pretty typical workout. For the next couple of weeks, it was 5 by 3 minutes in VO2 max with a minute and a half rest in between. And I think I did like 5.5 miles, like 45 minutes or something like that. So it wasn't a super long run, but that'll be pretty typical. Like maybe like 4 to 5 miles a day, maybe pushing up to 6 during the week. And then on the weekends, maybe a little bit longer, like on a Saturday, maybe like 10 miles or something, maybe 5 on a Sunday. So probably somewhere within like that 40, I would say probably 40 miles for the next month and a half to 2 months. And then once I get into a little bit more of like the lactate threshold zone training, those will be a little bit longer runs. You'll be focusing more like 8 to 10 minute intervals. So those runs will end up being just a little bit longer because in an hour or so you can run a little bit more when you're working in that zone. So then once I get like closer to race day, when I start putting in like 20, 30 milers, like on the weekends, I get up to 60, 70 miles a week. I think I hit like 75 or something was my biggest week going into no business. And that was like maybe 4 or 5 weeks before it. So it fluctuates a lot. Okay, so Labe asked a question, and this is really good. I'm not sure if math works too well. When you're 66 years old, I can run 130 beats per minute pretty well, but not much lower. So that is actually yes. So once you get to 65, math, there's like specific rules that, and his website really explains it well. Like you can add, I don't know, like 5 if you've run a marathon in the last year, or you can add 10 if you've never had a serious illness in the last like 5 years or something like that. So there's some math that you have to do if you're 65 and older and 16 and younger. Like, because if you're 16, like you don't want to be running at, if you're like 14, you don't want to be running like all of your, you don't want to be running all of your runs at like 166 beats a minute. Like, is that, yeah, that'd be right if you're 14. Yeah. So there's some rules if you're within 16 to 65 years old, it's pretty, like you can just pretty much take what the math gives you. But yeah, so Labe, I would check that out. But you sound like you're doing fine. You just ran a 50 miler solo this weekend. So, yeah, you sound like you're doing fine though. What's up? Bowie says, what's up, Brian? Big ups from Washington State, Pacific Northwest. Awesome. Robert Diaz says, Ryan just finished the Blood Rock 150-mile race with 25,000 feet of elevation change. Absolutely brutal course. Thanks for the videos. Gave me the final push to get out there and do my first ultra. Whoa. So let's get this right. 50 miles, 25,000 feet of gain. Oh my gosh. I'm going to check that out. It says the Blood Rock. I believe you. I just want to see this. Blood Rock 100. Wow. Oh my gosh. This looks cool. Wow. Cool. It's awesome. They got a little map right there. That is sweet. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, I think it says, I think you were saying the 26 for the 100 miler. Yeah. 13,000 feet of elevation gain for the 50. That's still crazy. Where is this race? Sounds like, that looks like, is that like Virginia? Georgia? Oak Mountain State Park, Alabama. Close. Nice. That's awesome, man. Congrats on that. I gotta get this out of here. Cool. That's awesome. Congrats on doing that. Robert Diaz just finished a 50 mile race. Absolutely brutal course. That's really cool. Thanks for letting me know that my videos gave you inspiration. That's pretty sweet. Oh, what's up? Motivational Theory Running's here. I watch his videos. Kind of what I'm doing right now. I have a 50 miler in March and a 24-hour race in April. Awesome. That's really cool, man. Good luck training for your 50 miler. And then 24-hour race in April. Have you ever done a 24-hour race? That's pretty cool. That's something that, that's actually like after this year of things being just kind of like out of whack and weird. The 24-hour race has kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I don't think I would ever want to do one like on a track or anything like that. But that's where most of them are, I guess. But it would be kind of cool if there was something like I don't know, like a 10-mile trail loop. Maybe we should just start a race like that. Maybe I should go down to that. Maybe I should do something at the like Prophetstown State Park that I run out a lot. That would be pretty sweet to start a race. Because that would be cool. Like do like a 10-mile loop, 24-hour race. See how many miles you can run in 24 hours. Cool. Let's see here. Ultra Dad is here. What's up? Sorry I'm late. No worries, man. We're here, hanging out. Hakiri says, Ryan, I'm 16. Am I old enough to run long distances and only 10% of my sprint training is enough to become an ultra runner? Yeah, I think if you're 16 years old, I mean, you're old enough to do a lot of things athletically. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I could recommend doing like a 100 miler or a 50 or something, but I think definitely find some, find some people like in your community, like a coach or something that, or if at your school, something, find a coach that can help you kind of like explore that. Let them know that you want to run long distances. And I think it would be good to do something like that under some sort of, mild mentorship or coaching or supervision or something like that. But yeah, I think 16, like you're getting old enough to start doing a lot of that stuff. It's pretty cool. Ultra Dad says, I think I've decided to do Mohican again in June and Fat Dog in September. Unfinished business. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. Fat Dog is another one that is really, really appealing to me. That's a 120-mile race up in Canada. And it just looks absolutely incredible. The grizzly bears is one thing that I would be really worried about out there. Because I've done races where, or I've been out in the mountains where, you were, you had like mountain lions and like black bears and brown bears and all that. And like mountain lions are incredibly scary. But I think a grizzly bear I would just be incredibly scared of grizzly bears. Sarah O says, motivational theory. I just started watching your videos. Awesome. That's cool. Both you and Ryan give me so much inspiration to stay out there and push my limits. Nice. That's awesome, Sarah. Thanks for shouting out motivational theory. That's pretty cool. Aaron Townsend says, any thoughts or input on last man standing training? I've done a couple of hundreds, but this will be my first race. Fingers crossed it happens to do that format. Oh man, those are so hard. So are you talking like a backyard style, like a 4.1 mile loops every hour? I've actually done one of those. It wasn't the year I did it. They didn't have a last man standing division, and I wouldn't have stuck around for that anyway. I went to this race. It was called the Painful Elimination. It's in Illinois. And I went to it specifically to run 50K because I needed a 50K run. It was 2 weeks before a 50 miler that was 4 weeks before 100. So I just went there for a specific reason to run 50K, and it was like a 4.18 mile loop or something like that. And you left on the hour every hour. And if you weren't in like this box, like this spray painted corral, at like when the bell rang every hour, you were cut. So that was really fun. There's so many different strategies to that. I think I would look at some of the people that have done Laz's race, the what's it called, Big Backyard Ultra. Look at how some of them pace themselves. And not like the people that won it, because obviously they're just on a completely different level. But, some of the people that did like 100 miles or, like 120 miles or something like that. I think a lot of it is making sure that you are getting plenty of food and water, because that you need that fuel coming in, or else, you just don't have a chance, because there is no time to sit at an aid station and get what you need. You just have to take as much as you can get in the time you have. And so what I found worked for me was trying to hit each lap in about 50 minutes, so that I could have about 10 to myself. And running that, that's pretty, like, that's not pushing yourself too hard. That's like 12-minute miles. That was slow enough where I could do a little bit of walking and hiking here and there, to kind of save my legs. But then it was also quick enough that I had a few minutes to make sure that because when I did this race, I was by myself, and so I was refilling my bottles and I was getting all my own nutrition. So I had my car, my Jeep, like I had just the back set up with all my bottles of hydration. And I made sure that I could just quickly fill and then have one to like drink while I was there. And then I had like all my nutrition, like gels and bars, like things I needed to eat. But then I also had one of those like rolling pins. The one I have is called a tiger tail. And so I would make sure that I was eating. Like that was the most important thing, eating and drinking. But then in like the last 2 minutes or 1 minute before the bell rang, like I was like quickly like trying to roll out my calves and quads. And I mean, it's incredibly like, it's really fun. Like it's a really fun format. Okay. You say here, yes, 4.1 miles. So that's perfect. Oh, it's a Big's Backyard Ultra Qualifier. Oh, that's awesome. So same format. Yeah. I think, it just really depends on what type of runner you are. There are people that go out and do it. And if it's like a flat course, like your first couple laps, like, yeah, you could get done, 35 minutes or so, 30 minutes maybe, if you're, and that might not even be really pushing it that hard for a lot of people. But the problem then is you're sitting around for like 25, 30 minutes and all your muscles get cold. And so it's almost better to, no matter how fast of a runner you are, to stick to a, like more of a schedule, I guess. And like, especially at the beginning, like the less time you spend sitting, the better, because you're going to lock up. Like once you get to the fifth or sixth lap, like once you pass like a marathon, your legs are going to be feeling it big time. And so if you do a lap in 40 minutes and then sit at your car for 20 minutes, your next lap is going to be miserable. So, like I don't have a ton of experience. I've done one. I did 33 miles at it. I would try to check out some people's like social media or check out some people's Strava that did bigs this past year and did like 100 miles or something, whatever you're targeting for, and just kind of like look through what they did. And you'll probably find that a lot of them were targeting like 45 to 50 minutes so that they would have enough time to refuel, rest a little bit and get nutrition in and all that, but not enough time to really have their muscles like start locking up. Cause that's once that starts happening, like, yeah, it's going to be tough to keep going. But then sleep starts to become a big issue. If you start going, like how many hours would that be for 100 miles? If you're doing 4, I don't have a calculator. It's probably really easy math. I just can't do it on the spot when I'm live streaming. But yeah, sleep is going to start messing with you as well. Awesome. Brian says, my wife's planning on doing Desert Solstice 24 hours on a track. I'll be the crew guy with the camera. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, Desert Solstice. That's a Air Viper race, right? Yeah, that always looks like a really cool one. Zach Bitter will be there trying to break. I don't know which record he's trying to break. If he's trying to break the 100-mile record again or 24-hour record. But he'll be there. He's trying to, Laura says 24. Nice. That's awesome. So that's why it's great. Being live, asking questions live. You guys have all the answers. That's cool. But yeah, Desert Solstice, that looks like a really cool one. It just looks like good people, good place, really pretty place to go run. So that's cool. Red Springs Runner says, hey Ryan, hope you and your family are doing well. I'm currently recovering from a broken ankle. Oh no. A root finally got the best of me. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hopefully be back in a couple weeks. Take care. Yeah. That's like, oh man. That's one of the things I don't like thinking about when I'm running trails. But yeah, I fell at Mohican 2 years ago, 2019, and messed up my ankle bad, tore cartilage. That was rough. I can't imagine what it feels like to break your ankle while you're out trail running. So, Sending you some good vibes, Red Spring Runner. Hope you feel better soon. Hope it heals up. Aaron Townsend says, thanks for the input. Your one that you have done is more than me, so super appreciate all the advice. Yeah, no problem. I haven't figured out a strategy, and 50 sounds good. 100 miles in 24 hours, I believe. Yeah, I think that sounds right. 4 miles, 4.1 miles, something like that. Yeah. So good luck, Aaron. That's going to be fun. It's going to be a really fun challenge. Motivational Theory Running says he's editing and listening to you, multitasking. Yeah, sometimes I try to do that, but it never really works well because I can't always edit as well as I can if I'm just like in the zone. So, yeah. So what else you guys got? I had a couple thoughts. Trying to find them. I wrote some down. Yeah, I'm just like really feeling, okay, so there's a thing, consistency, and motivation. I've been just kind of like thinking about these two things and like how they relate to each other. Because like, some days getting out there and training is like really hard and you like have no motivation. But if you can build that consistency, you don't need as much motivation because just the fact that you're consistent is like pulling you along. And I noticed this thing that I wanted to share with you guys. And it's like not like, I mean, it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's when I was running every day, like last year, I ran like 297 days in a row or something like that. And then the 297th day was no business, 100 miles. And the next day I did not run. So when I did that, once I got to maybe day 50 or 60, it became easier to run than not to run. Like there was something there with the consistency that the first couple weeks I needed a lot of motivation. But then once I got a couple weeks into it, the consistency kind of like overtook that. And it kept like the consistency that I had been building. It was momentum that built, and I didn't need the motivation anymore. It's just like something fascinating that I just have been thinking about, and I just wrote it down and just wanted to share it with you guys. When running or working out, or even if it's just being active once a day, when that becomes as routine as brushing your teeth or, like eating lunch or whatever, like you're not going to miss it. And it's just, that's just kind of like really like, it kind of dawned on me over these past couple of weeks where I have not been consistent. It has been really hard to get out the door a lot of times, and especially with the weather. So there's just like, there's so many factors to pull you away. But when it becomes harder to not go for your run than it does to go for your run, like you're in a good spot there. And that's when your consistency is really kicked in. So yeah, I just wanted to just kind of like encourage you guys, as we're getting into winter, like it's going to be harder, for everybody. But I think if you can commit to being consistent, and I think there is something to the everyday thing, and not everybody can or should run every day, but you can be active, even if it's for 10 or 15 minutes. You can walk, you can, do some stability exercises, you can do something. And I think you'll find, as I found by accident when I did it, that if you do start doing something every day, it's going to become so routine that it's just going to start pulling you along, and it's going to become easier just to do it than to not. Like when I was like the last couple months of that run streak that I had, I didn't even think about not running on a day. It was just like, when am I like, when am I going to run? Like it was like every day I was just like, okay, I'm going to run at noon, or I'm going to run at 3, or I'm going to run at this time. And it became a thing. Like my family got used to it too. And it was just like no big deal. There was no friction anymore once I built that consistency. So it's cool. Ultra Dad says it's a chemical thing. Endorphins are a healthy addiction. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Sarah says, could not agree more. Once it's part of your routine, it's not even a question if you're going to go out and run or work out. And yeah, it's like, I totally agree with that. And I see that, I just see that with a lot of people. Like if you're like, a lot of people are looking for motivation, to go out and do something. And if you can get that motivation, if you can find it from somewhere, if it's like a video that you watch, or if it's a speech you listen to, or a song you listen to, or, some sort of whatever goal you have, I think that's big for me. Like I'm really goal driven. And so when I finally can like commit to, typically a race or something like that, and then I can plan out my usually like 23 to 24 weeks out from that race, 6 months, and I can start getting into like this is my goal now. Like this is my what I'm working towards, my North Star. Like I know what it is, and here's the path. It becomes much easier at that point to go out and execute like those runs. And then when you start building that consistency, it becomes the path of least resistance. And that's, we talk about that all the time. Like, when I was managing restaurants, it was like, like when, like to, make things happen, like you have to create what you want to happen. You need to make that the path of least resistance. And, that's with everything in life. It's just, and especially with training. So like if you can build that consistency, Logan says habit is much more stable of a mindset than always searching for the next motivation. That's right. Totally agree with that. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up pretty soon. We're at just about an hour. So this was a pretty good one. Lots of good questions. If you got any last minute questions, throw them in the chat. I'll stick around for another minute or two, and then we'll wrap this up. But hope you guys are enjoying the videos I've been putting out. I kind of had a goal, like I was just like with like a lot of things, like with running, I was like lacking a little motivation. And so that was kind of also, since a lot of my videos are focused on running, it was kind of like hard to find motivation to make more videos. And so I kind of like made a goal, not really a goal, but just kind of like a thing where it's like, I wonder how many days I can do like in a row, and maybe shoot for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like maybe go till Christmas or the end of the year or something like that. And so I didn't like say anything in any of my videos until right now, I guess. But I kind of have a goal to try and do like every day until Christmas. So hold me to that, guys. And keep stopping by, keep watching, keep commenting. It's so fun. Like just talking to you guys and hanging out. These lives are awesome. It's a whole lot of fun. So yeah, I'm going to try it. I consider a live stream a video as well. So I didn't post a video today, because I did this. But hopefully that's fine with you guys. James Mazzotti says 4 a.m. is the best time to go for a run. The world is so nice and quiet. I agree with that. 4 a.m. is super early, too early for me right now. But it is a really special time to go for a run. I can totally agree with that. Last winter, I was up at, was it 4:15? I think it was like 4:15. I was waking up every day. And, because like, back then, like when I had to go to an office, things are different now, but, yeah, my day started quite a bit early a year ago. right now. But now I have a little more flexibility. I can run at different times. So I'm not getting up that early anymore. But there is something something really empowering about getting out when you know there's almost nobody else awake right now. Like almost everybody is sleeping and you're running, like you're out there putting in the work and everyone else is sleeping. Like there's just something really, really cool about that. So James, I totally agree with you on that. Walking on rest days. Spiros says walking on rest days has been great for me. Kept me in the habit of doing something every day, staying on my feet, getting to know the neighborhood better too. Yeah, that's good. That's totally true. Labe says, I have no problem with motivation, but I feel better with 5 days a week. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody has, a certain amount of time that, sometimes you need more time to recover. So maybe 5 runs a week, maybe it's 3 runs a week, every other day. But there's something to motivation and just doing something every day. And so, like I said, if you want to build that consistency, go for a walk, do some, order a kettlebell, from Amazon or something, do a little bit of weights one day, something like that. Oh yeah, James. I think you mentioned this to me before, but yes, everybody who's watching should go over and join our Discord. I'll try to remember to put that link in this YouTube video as well, because Discord has been really, really cool. There's over 200 people now on the Discord channel, and we just recently added some extra discussion channels. That was something I forgot. I was meaning to see. There's something I know I can do with Discord is to bring people in like a phone call. So I really want to try that. Maybe I'll be able to figure it out for next week. But if people are on Discord, you can just go into the talk channel, and I believe I've seen other YouTubers do this where they can bring people in just as a guest, come in, ask a question live on the air. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, join our Discord. We've got a bunch of good topics going. It's a really good place to ask questions, get some advice, sharing pictures of your run. So it's really, really fun. So let's see. One last question, and I'm going to wrap it up. Yo-Yo on the Trail says, have you ever thought about getting into through hiking or long distance backpacking? I'm a long distance backpacker, through hiker, looking to get into ultra running, the other way around. Yeah, that's something that I've always loved to dream about, but have never had the time to do it. Like backpacking the PCT, or even something shorter like the John Muir Trail would just be, I would love to do that. It's always been a dream, not always, but maybe for the last 10 years or so, 15 years, maybe, to dream to do a long trail. Just go out there and be gone for 2 weeks, month, 2 months, something like that. But the place I'm in right now with family, 2 little kids, it's just not possible. But yeah, so I run trails and do really long races that you can do in about a day. So that's my way into it. But yeah, I would love to. Says, oh, love your shirt, by the way. I learned about the Leadville 100 while hiking the Colorado Trail. Share some of the same trails. Nice. Looks awesome. I would love to do it someday. Yeah. So sure, I actually got this shirt from a little t-shirt shop in downtown Leadville when I was there a couple years ago, pacing and crewing my friend John, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. He did the Leadville 100, and I ran the last 50 miles with him. So that was that was just a really awesome trip. Like just such a fun trip. Yeah, really great race. So anyway, that's where I'm going to end it here tonight. Thank you all for joining. This was really fun. Like I said, join our Discord channel, meet some cool people, ask some questions, listen to some, or, hear some cool stories, see some good pictures. And yeah, I'll see you guys again next week. This was fun. There's a week, I think it's 2 weeks from now, where I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Maybe I might be late because it's the Tuesday before Christmas, because I also do like production, like audio, video stuff at my church, and we have a rehearsal on that night, and I don't know if I'm going to be back by 9. Hopefully I will be. But I think we've been doing this for I need to look how many weeks in a row of doing this, a couple months, but that might be the one. I might be a little late in 2 weeks. We'll see though. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. I will see you again soon. That's where I'm going to end this, wrap it up. Take care, stay safe. And yeah, drop by in a video tomorrow, drop a comment. Let me know how you're doing, where you're running. I'll see you again soon. Bye.